Hello, guys. Welcome to the 31st episode of the OTV podcast. Today, I am joined here with Andy and Michelle. Woo! So if you guys have not met Andy and Michelle yet, maybe they can give you a little rundown on, you can introduce yourselves maybe.
Yeah.
Hello guys, we're Andy and Michelle, and we make TikTok videos about couples and stuff. Yeah.
We basically fight on camera, basically.
For your amusement. Yeah, that's it. That's us.
It was really amusing. Yeah, I'll take that. But I mean, I really liked how we met. So maybe we can talk about that first.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because I'm sure like every time we post videos like together or other things, people are always like, wait, how did this crossover happen and stuff?
Yeah.
So
It was pretty random.
it was really random.
It was by chance too.
Yeah.
Like Michelle and I weren't. I know. We had no idea that anybody from offline was going to be at the. So we went to an 88 thing, right? Like a party.
It was like
Yeah.
a
It was a
pre-Coachella party.
pre-Coachella party that
Yeah.
we got invited for. We actually have never been to Coachella
Yeah.
and or EDC. So actually we weren't supposed to be there. And at the time we lived in San Diego.
Yeah.
And basically what ended up happening was we got invited and we weren't going to go. And then the day before I spoke to Michelle and I was like, you know what? Let's just go.
Yeah.
And we looked up the time and how long it took to get there. And it was around like 4 hours one way.
I can't believe it was
was a
4
long
hours.
Yeah,
Right.
it was 4 hours and it was through the mountains and it was
Yeah.
really treacherous
Like, no
actually.
signal.
But we didn't know the area at the time, so we were like, "Oh, it's like a 4 hour straight shot. We can definitely do that." And then so we ended up going, and then we just made this long trek for 4 hours into the mountains and this wilderness, and it was just desert and it was kind of crazy. But we ended up getting there, and we didn't know anybody. I think we
I
had
think
You guys didn't know anybody?
we had no
I think
friends.
we only knew like
I know what you said.
wait, we literally didn't
We
know
literally
anybody.
didn't know anybody.
Why did we go?
Yeah, we-
Okay, the troll part was you guys went to the 88 Rising pre-party for Coachella and did not go to Coachella
Yeah.
after
We
driving
didn't go
4
to
hours.
You guys just went for the party?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was 2 days. So the crazy part was
both days, like,
we went,
Yeah.
we went, drove there for 4 hours, stayed there until like around what 7
did it
o'clock,
in, yeah, like 6,
like
7.
7:30, and then ate dinner until about 8:30, and then drove home 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we would get home around 1 o'clock, sleep for like 6 more hours, wake up and drive 4 hours.
He
to
did
go-
all the driving. By
to
the
go to
way.
day 2. Yeah.
I was
She
passenger
slept.
princess.
She
just
slept
the whole time.
She slept a total of 16 hours collectively that weekend, and I got maybe around like 8 hours total. But anyways, we did that for both days. But anyways, long story short, we went. I think it was day 2. We saw
Was it day
Yvonne,
2?
right?
I think it was.
I thought it was day 1 for some
Yeah,
reason.
I think it was day 1.
day 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
but-
guys were you guys even there for that long for day 2? I feel like you guys like came and
Oh,
went.
yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. It was definitely day 1.
I got sick that day.
Oh really?
Yeah, the day that I didn't really see you guys that much, I ate coffee, something there, and then I had a miserable time. And Broden took a really sick picture of me.
Yeah, really cool picture.
Yeah. You know, Broden takes like the best pictures of everyone else. He'll take pictures of people like on vacation when we're in Japan, other things. Amazing photo. I have a whole album of photos that Broden has taken for me, and they're all bad. They're like the worst angle, the worst zoom in, like 10x, like zoom in on me, or like when I'm like making a stupid face.
I've given you some good ones too, but
Which ones? I know. I wish I want to post
We're
one.
gonna have to see some of these pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can we get like the whole album?
yeah.
All of it?
I'll
I'm
send
gonna
you the
choose
link,
which
yeah.
one I'm gonna put as my contact picture.
Okay.
Okay, so basically we ended up going, and then like I said, we knew nobody. I'm pretty sure we knew maybe the person that invited us that day, which was our 88 Connect.
Oh, the marketer. Yeah.
Yeah, the marketing person at 88, and then a couple of creators that we met through online.
Yeah.
And then you guys showed up, and I was like, "Oh my god, I definitely know these people."
we were like,
you
"Oh,
know,
it's
like it was nuts. Because for us at the time, we didn't know any creators at the time at all. I think, and it was just kind of crazy seeing you guys in person, but also, it's like we watched you guys for a long time as well. So for us, it was kind of just like unreal. right?
Really? How long?
I mean, Michelle watched before I did, but I was watching a couple people, including you, like for quite a bit.
Wow.
Like, and so for me, when I went up to you guys, I was genuinely saying, "Holy crap! Like this is so
Yeah.
weird for me," but I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
It was funny because like how it happened was literally it felt like a I don't know if it was like a movie or like a skit. They were across and from me, like we were imagine like they're here. Well, podcast listeners can't hear or can't see. I'm sorry, but basically we were like lined up right across from each other. We both looked at each other at the same time, like made eye contact, and then both pointed at each other, kind of like. I
Wait.
know you.
Wait a second.
I'm over here saying like my version is I know you guys. I see you guys on TikTok, and then they were pointing at us like they knew me too, and then so we like kind of make our way over to each other, and we start talking, and basically just kind of like being like, oh my god, and then just like
Yeah.
said hi and met that way.
But I think for us, especially, I think Michelle and I have a really, really close bond with Yvonne. And the reason for that is because we just kind of, from the beginning too, I feel like we just kind of understood each other
Yeah.
in terms of dynamic too. And we're all crackheads. So it just kind of just worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
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 I think it's
very
the best
natural.
because like when the first time we met in the first conversation we had, the energy was like matched.
Yeah.
Because you know how sometimes if you meet people online or like know people online, you meet in person, it can be like awkward the first time. But
Yeah.
for us, it was just straight up like we were already like close.
I think we were just glad that somebody knew who we were because as much as people were coming up to say hello and everything, it was
Yeah.
more like, oh, they knew who we were, but we didn't, like, it was more like fans,
Yeah.
right? But for us to have creators know us, but also us know them as well,
Yeah.
felt really like, it felt good.
I think
you
that
know?
was the first time we were like, what's it called? Like we met so many fans during those interactions, but I think you guys were like the first creators that recognized us as a creator as well. So we
Yeah.
were like, oh, that's really cool. We were
it
like, they
felt-
know who we
It felt
are.
very validating at
Very
the time.
validating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy to. I just like scroll in my For You page. It's just like, I mean, yeah. I
Oh,
hear
God.
that all the time. But it's fucking hilarious. I just, I like watching couples TikTok stuff. But I mean, your guys are my favorite, obviously. Not
Yeah?
even biased. So, yeah, like even before. I think the reason why I even have more couples TikToks on my For You page is because of you guys. Because I would watch your stuff and they recommend me like more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that because when we met there, that gave us basis to hang out again when we saw each other at Head in the Clouds.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Head in the Clouds was when also you guys got to meet Broden and everyone more,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
And then that was like the beginning of more when we were like, oh yeah, it's really fucking chill. Yeah. About friendship.
Yeah, but now we're here now, and that's kind of crazy.
Okay, well, I'm very smooth segue into. I'm just gonna move this then. Yeah. Slide off.
Episode 3.
It says 1-3-E3. You guys can fix that, right?
Okay,
You
sorry.
want to open the
Let me open this
Yeah, let's
Tokyo
open the
I just got my nails
box?
done. Maybe you'll
Oh, like the
ASMR?
ASMR.
ASMR.
Fun fact: Michelle took 3 years of Japanese.
I
in
did.
high
I took 3
school.
years of Japanese in high school so I could watch anime without subtitles, and I still can't.
What?
Yes.
Damn, that's dedication.
Bite into Japan. Hashtag Tokyo treat.
Ooh, there's a little
Pamphlet
pamphlet.
Oh, Sakura picnic party. Hey,
cool.
Tokyo treat fam. Oh, it comes with a lot of stuff. There's like ramen, drinks,
Let me.
chocolate.
Whoa! Look
That's
at
a
this.
lot of stuff.
There's peach Kit Kats.
Wait, this looks so good.
Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box. When you order one, you'll get up to 20 of the most latest, exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time, like Sakura Pepsi, Sakura Sake, Kit Kats, ramen, and much more. This month's theme is Sakura Picnic Party, so let's open up the box and take a look.
This is so good.
It's really good.
You'll like
It's kind
this
of
one.
like,
Can you try some of that? It's so good. What is this?
Oh, it's cold flavor? Yo, that's bomb.
Sakura Co. is a monthly authentic Japanese snack subscription box that supports local Japanese snack makers. Each box comes with 20 traditional, authentic Japanese snacks, including Japanese teas and special Japanese tableware. Those are expensive.
Eat this?
We need a plate. This month, Tokyo Tree and Sakura Co. are bringing the beauty of cherry blossom season right to your doorstep. Don't miss out on your chance to experience Japan's best time of the year in a fun and delicious way. To get your very own box, click the links in the description box below and use the Sakura Season promo code at checkout today. But yeah, basically ever since then, we have been huge degenerates together, going out every other or every weekend. And it's been fun. Yeah. I want you to wear the shirt that Michelle made.
God.
The one with her picture on it that says like, this is my wife or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what was it?
So basically, we made a TikTok because this was around the same time when they were going out a lot. I was like, I'm more of like an introvert, so I like.
She's a grandma.
I'm literally grandma. I sleep at like 9 p.m. if I'm not playing Valorant. But literally, they will go out all the time, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, you need to wear a shirt that tells everyone that you're not single. So I literally.
I don't act single when I go out. Like,
Yeah,
this is
but
not,
people still hit on you. You know?
but this is not a thing. Like she. Let me give you some context, okay? So to be fair, I only go out when Yvonne asks me.
No, that is so not
Let's not get it twisted. I go out when this lady tells me, "Hey, are you free today?
You are so
you wanna
wrong
come out?"
for
And I'm like,
that.
"Yeah, I'm down to go out." So for some context, okay? And I don't act single. Michelle makes it seem like I act single when I go out. I don't act single. I stay with our friends the entire time, and I've been like hit on before, and it's like this weird thing where like they know our channel and they still proceed to try to hit on me.
That is
and
the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. I don't understand.
And
They know
I've
you're
heard the
married, but they
stories.
would try to be like, oh, but your wife's not here. Like
They always
what?
ask that first. They're like, "Oh, where's your wife?" And I'm like, "At home." Why? And then they proceed to say very flirtatiously forward things. And I'm like, "I'm gonna go see where my friends are at." And then I'll run to Yvonne. I'm like, "Yvonne, guess what happened just now?" And she goes,
That's
"No
crazy.
freaking way." It's
crazy.
weird.
People are
People
wild.
are very, very out of pocket.
Yeah.
And they're opportunists for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
So yeah, I basically printed out a black shirt with a huge print of my face, and the top caption just says, "This is my wife." So whenever someone taps him or whatever tries to flirt with him, telling me he just needs to turn around and be like, "This is my wife. Don't talk to me."
A lot of friends want me to wear it. I have not worn it out to the club.
I
yet.
want you to wear it so I could.
Yeah, you should wear it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
a
wear it.
meme.
I'll wear it 1 week.
Okay.
I'll wear it 1 week.
Yeah.
One full week.
Or maybe underneath
One
all my
full
clothes. Underneath all my clothes so that I can just rip it out and be like, back off, back off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, actually, coming from that, I guess, like, I mean, I know because you guys told me the story a billion times too, or probably have told the story a billion times, but how did you guys meet and like how did it all like kind of come out? Because for me, I'm kind of like, listen, I'm like 32. I don't like talking about my age, but I'm 32. I ain't ready to get married yet. So like, how did it all like, I guess, happen?
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like it was scripted, right? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't feel real sometimes when I and every time I share this story, like it doesn't feel real to me when I really, really think about how it all kind of transpired. But essentially, not to go on like a crazy long tangent, or like a crazy story time. Well, basically, like she used to work at a boba shop, and I hated boba at the time. Like I despised it. I thought it tasted like dirt water. But a couple of my friends were like, "Hey, let's go get boba," right? And I was like, "Okay." Like I don't really like it, and I wasn't gonna go. But they're like, "Come on, we'll go." And at the time, like I was kind of going through this phase of like, oh, I'm trying to meet a lot of girls and stuff, and like have this like fun phase in my life. And in my head, I was like, who am I gonna meet? And this is before the whole like ABG boba phase. And so people didn't like correlate, oh, like boba shops with like very pretty girls,
There's
And
a
so-
correlation.
There is a correlation,
That's a
right?
thing.
Yeah, like,
Oh.
Isn't it? I
there's
don't know.
definitely a
Is it
correlation.
a West Coast thing or East
Oh.
Coast thing?
No, it's an East Coast thing too.
Right.
But
Not know that.
ABG's like
I thought they just
boba.
like boba, not that like you go to a
tattoos.
boba shop and they could be working there.
they could be working there, or they'll hang out there,
Oh,
or they'll
okay.
you'll
see
you
that.
know.
You'll just see some if you
You'll
go
run
in,
into
them.
basically.
But basically, I was like, at the time, I was like, well, why would I go there? Like I'm not gonna get anything, and there's nothing for me to go and do. But I ended up going, and she was working the front cashier at the time, and she immediately caught my eye, and I was like, oh, interesting. Like, what a
Immediately,
now
huh?
I'm all of a sudden down to get boba.
All of a sudden, I love
I
boba.
love boba.
It tastes like delicious dirt water.
So I like the friends at the time, they came up to me and they were like, well, they were all lining up, and then I was just sitting kind of like looking kind of from a distance, and they go, hey, like, what are you gonna get? And I said,
Her.
in my head, sure, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't know, and I wasn't gonna go say anything, but they were like, oh, you should go, ask what you should get. And I was like, okay, whatever, screw it. And so I go up and I get to the front after this long line, and then she like looks at me and I like freeze up, and I'm like, hi, what do I order? Like, do you have any? And I'm like stumbling over my words, like I'm not composed at all. And I'm like, what do you guys have here? And it's a cup of tea.
Like, hey, this guy ain't ready. He's like in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, because that shop was like always busy, so I'm like grinding.
Yeah.
And I used to hate it when people would get to the front and not know what they want because they waited so long. So I was like, we have boba. What do you mean? What do we
Yeah.
have?
And I was like, oh, like, what's good here? And then she goes, names of like 4 different drinks, and of course like
Yeah.
one ear out the other. I'm not listening to nothing. I'm just like, my eyes are on the target. Like I'm like, the mission's there. I just don't know how to accomplish this mission, right? And so one ear out there, and I was like, yeah, can you just surprise me? Like, can you pick one or whatever? And so I noticed after I paid, she switched out with somebody to go to the back to make my drink, and I was like,
did.
interesting. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. Didn't think anything
I
of
was
it.
trying to flex.
But she makes my
really?
drink.
I was trying to be like, yeah, I can make his. You
Oh
don't have to worry
my
about it. I'll make it.
She ends up making my drink real quick, and it's like people actually got upset that day because there's an order to things, right? If 2 people ordered in front of me, they're supposed to get their drinks before mine, but mine was like expedited to the front, and I was like, okay, cool, that's so weird. And my friend's drinks were also ignored, so I got mine first, and she like handed it to me, and I was like, okay.
Here you go.
I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. But anyways, I end up getting it, and I'm like drinking my drink, but I'm like staring. Like not too obvious, but I'm like glancing over like every couple seconds. And I can see her kind of like glancing over, but I'm like, oh, is it just because she's wanting to see if I think the drink tastes like shit? Or is it like, But anyways, my friends were like, oh, you're like really interested in her. I was like, yeah, like she's some slight, so, it's she's cute or whatever. And then they were like, oh, you should go get her number. And I was like, bro, that's a creepy move, right? Like, what type of girl would want to get hit on while she's working and she's like in her full rhythm and she's got a lot of stuff going on? It's very busy. And so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. And then he goes, well, if you're not gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it. And he walks up, and I'm like sweating. I was like, oh god, like this is
You're
not
like
happening.
worried, like,
I
wait,
feel
what
like
if it works?
Exactly. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And so I actually like saw him go up, and I was like, oh hell no, and I ran out the shop. And I made a big scene. Like I ran. Like I ran into the door.
You like did.
Like I ran into the door. I made a bang. Like I was like,
see the opposite. Like I ran to like beat him.
no,
so,
no,
like,
no,
he
no.
ran out.
left.
I ran as fast as I could to the car, and I was just locked myself in the car, and I was so embarrassed. But he ends up going up, and he's like, "Oh, like, did you think any of us were cute? Like any of the guys?"
They like literally lined up, and they were like, "Or do you think any of us are cute?" And I was like, the one I thought was cute just left. So that like
Yeah.
confirmed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so he goes, "Oh, like, can I get your number so I can give it to him?" I don't know why he did that, but apparently, I mean, it worked. Like he got her number, and then he brought it out to me, and of course I jotted that down. I was like, for future reference, I'll put it down. I had no idea what her name was though, so I just put it as Kung Fu Tea Girl, and I saved it. And then funny thing, a week after, I started dating somebody. Like it was like 2 months. It was very short. It ended up not going so well, and I broke it off with her. And then like 2 weeks after I broke up with her, my sister invited me out to like a bowling tournament thing. Like it was like a fellowship thing. And so for me, I was like, yeah, I'll go show off. Like I'm pretty nasty at bowling, right? So I end up going, and of course, lo and behold, like she's there. And I was like, oh wow, how interesting that she ends up being here.
coincidence.
Yeah, and my first impression were actually really bad. When she came up to me to introduce herself, I was really nervous. So my hands were all sweaty and everything, and I was sweating. And
I went up to you first, right?
you went up to me, and I was like, wow, that's really weird. Like she's very forward.
Weird.
Yeah, because I thought like I've never been approached like that before. And so I was like, wow, she's very confident, which was very attractive to me at the time. And I stuck out my hand. And I was like, hey, my name's Andy. And then she stuck out her hand. And then we like shook. And then she immediately pulled away. And she was like, ew, your hands are so sweaty. And of course, my heart drops. My heart drops to the floor, right? And I'm like, a million thoughts are rushing in my head. But the underlying thing that was in my head, I was like, oh wow, she's a bitch. Like, what a mean thing to say first thing to me. You know what I mean? Like, it's the first time talking to me. She goes, ew, your hands are so clammy. And there was no laughter after that. Like, it's not like, ew, your hands are so clammy. Haha. It was like, ew, your hands are so clammy. She like wipes it on her jeans like this. And then she like walks away. And I was like, okay. And so in my head, I was like, that was all up in my head rent free the entire like night. And, I'm popping off bowling and I like glance over every time I get a strike over there. I'm like,
is she looking?
like you see that? You see that?
Yeah.
People are going wild, in the stands. Like the four people that are in my lane, they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like looking over and like, is she looking or not? And she's not looking, of course. Right. But in hindsight, she told me like she was glancing over.
Yeah. He was probably like, you were like, what, like 4 lanes down?
Yeah.
So like we had our own teams. But every time he would like do something, obviously like that lane would cheer. So then I would look and it's like, oh, Andy got another strike.
But she
So many
timing me.
strikes.
She timing me though, because every time I was looking, she was like not looking. I was like, okay, well, I guess she's not interested in
That's
bowlers.
good enough for her. That's good.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, whatever. And so that ends up happening, and then at the end of the night, we all end up going to go eat somewhere. And of course, her slow driver ass gets there like 10 minutes after everyone gets there. And so I get there first. I'm really like in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this girl another chance. I know I obviously think she's a freaking bitch for like saying, ew, my hand is this way, whatever, right? And so I get there early. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna give her one more chance. If she screws it up here, I guess she loses me. It's one of those things.
male
Not the other
ego.
way around.
The male ego
But-
is great.
But I said, okay, so I'll give it another shot. And so I get there, people are coming in, and so in my head I'm like scheming. I was like, how can I make it so that this girl sits next to me, right? Like guaranteed spot. And so I take off my jacket and I put it to the seat next to me. And as these people are coming in, people are asking, oh, is that seat open? I'm like, no, she's in the bathroom.
Such a
Like
schemer.
she's in the bathroom. This seat is actually taken. And then of course, after everyone sits down, I take the jacket off so it doesn't look like I'm like scheming, right? And then she walks in, last person in. Of course, last person in going, oh, what did I say? And I was like, oh, look.
Do guys manipulate the scenario so that the person they like
is it called
ends
manipulation?
up
I think I just set
never-
myself up for
I've
success.
never like had somebody like necessarily put their jacket and be like, oh, the seat's taken.
Yeah.
But I always like, normally they would be like, oh, don't sit here. I'm saving this
Oh.
spot. Like they'll be straight up with it for the people around.
I see.
Like, cause
I
they're
think I
friends.
have heard like, oh, like if you want to sit here or like, would you like to sit? Like that's usually something. And
Yeah.
then they gesture to the seat next to them.
Here's the thing, right? You have to make them choose. You can't like, is this bad
You have to
advice?
give them the
Like,
option. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
better
you have
wording.
to make them want to sit there, right? Like if there's another seat available, which there was, but I gestured to her, I was like, oh, it looks like this is open. You can take that or the other one.
That
And
is
she
what I
ended up
mean.
going.
The one times I've heard it is like, oh, like would you like to sit?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they kind of like leave
You have
like,
to make
oh,
them
yeah, I'll sit here.
choose.
Yeah.
And
Because
then
in
you're
their
kinda like,
mind,
okay.
then they go, okay, I chose to sit there for a reason, right? And
Well,
then
I
they-
chose you. Typically, we'd be like, we sat there because you offered.
I didn't offer. I just said, hey, it's there if you want to take it.
Yeah.
If
'Cause I
you
was, like,
want to
looking,
take it.
And then he was like, oh, there's a seat here. Like before I even said anything.
Yeah.
And I was
Exactly.
like, okay, I'll just get the first seat I see.
And she took the bait.
I did.
And she ended up sitting there. And then, so basically we're like, small talk, like, oh, like, what are you going to get here and there? And I realized, like, she tells me, oh, like, I don't think I'm going to eat anything. I'm not that hungry and I'm feeling a little sick. And so, I'm like trying to,
Didn't you say you were like starving?
yeah, I was very hungry. Okay. I was very hungry.
He's like, too much bowling.
But
Gotta
she
eat.
goes,
too much curveballs.
hey, it's a lot of cardio, It's like 14 pounds to
Oh,
lift up that
strikes
ball.
off.
Like,
Like, yeah,
how
I got
many games did we
250
play?
points
Like, it was
today.
a
It's
lot.
good time to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, like when you're the best, it's like it burns calories. Okay, but anyways, I'm kidding. But basically, she tells me, oh, like I'm very sick. Like not very sick, but I'm feeling a little sick. Like I don't think I'm gonna finish the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm sick too. Like I'm feeling very sick too. Like we should split something. Like you're not gonna get me sick because I'm already a little sick. So it'll work out. Like we can share something. And so we ended up sharing something. I pay for it, and then she slid into my DMs like that night, and she goes, oh, like I really appreciate you, like, buying the food and sharing
Yeah.
this with me. I hope you feel better. And of course, the next day I'm like insanely sick. Like she got me very, very sick
Really?
the next day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got him sick.
And I was sick for like a week. But I was telling her, yeah, like I'm already feeling better. That soup made me feel better. But I'm like, like I'm typing that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like basically that's how it started. We started texting each other through Instagram DMs, and then I got her number from there. I mean, I had her number, but of course I asked. I was like, hey, like, what's your number? I don't really need it, but just for the casual conversation of you actually giving it to me.
Did you ask again?
Yeah, I asked again.
Oh, so did you guys? But did you not think she maybe would have remembered you from
I feel
like
like
your
I would
friend?
have
again?
remembered that.
But did you remember?
I feel like I would have.
You don't know?
Out.
You don't remember?
I would have been like, you didn't save it the first time I gave it to you. Like,
It was weird, So I didn't want to make it seem like, oh, by the way, I got I got your number
still
from a
have it.
friend,
Yeah, that's true.
So I wanted to give you the courtesy of asking again. And yeah, just from there, we kind of started texting. I found out that she goes to the same university that my sister was going to. And that's where kind of I don't want to say
the chase.
the chase started.
Yeah.
Really.
It was
Chase.
it sounded like such a grueling chase, and I just can't believe that you did all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's very cute. It's like,
It is.
I don't believe that happened, because I feel like that's the kind of stuff that you see in like shows or like
Yeah.
movies.
So basically for 3 months, right? I didn't go to that college at the time, but I knew Michelle did and my sister did, and so the routine would be I would go there and drop my sister off, and then I don't have a parking pass because I don't attend this university, and so I would drive 1.5 miles down the road to park my car in free parking, walk 1.5 miles back to see her for 5 minutes in between her class, see her and make small talk, and then walk 1.5 miles back and go home every day for 4 months
No,
or
wait.
3 months.
Did you know that he was doing all of this just for that 5 minutes?
No, I didn't know that he was walking. I knew he was like coming to the school anyways because I was friends with his sister. So I knew he was like dropping her off. So he would be here sometimes, But I didn't know he was doing the whole like walk a mile, walk back just to stay for like 5 minutes. and
Just
then
for
leave
5 minutes, not even like to hang out after or like hope to hang out. It's like literally just going for the break
Yeah.
period and leaving.
Literally.
And for the chance of possibly seeing her, like it wasn't guaranteed because sometimes she'd go eat with her friends during that time. Sometimes she would stay after like study, and I would sit there like an idiot waiting. And I was like, I guess she's sick or something. And I would text her and be like, oh, like you're not at the table today, or like I would just send her a quick text, and then she would tell me, oh yeah, I'm eating lunch with my friends, and I'd be like, damn it. And so then I would walk back, and it'd be the longest walk ever. And it was like a hit or miss, but I risked it for the biscuit, But I did that for 3 months, and then on a whim, after one of those 3 months, I was like, hey, like, why don't you come with me to get Chipotle? Like, I kind of hungry. And then she was very like goody two shoes. She'd never like skipped class. She never did any type of like drinking or anything like that at the time. Like, she was very like a good student.
That was in nursing school.
Yeah. And so I told her, I was like, you know what? Life's short. Just skip a class. You're not gonna
Life short.
just skip one time. Just once. You won't regret it. And she goes, yeah, fuck it, whatever. And so she ends up skipping. We have a great time. That was technically like our first time just doing a one-on-one.
Like a date, sort of.
Yeah, but it was like we talked about like stupid stuff, but like I had the time of my life that first meeting. And then I just got hooked. You know?
I hate it here, but yeah, no, sorry, continue. No, keep going.
So yeah, I mean, it became a routine. Not necessarily her skipping, but we made time for each other after that. And
We went to the gym a lot together.
yeah, we started going to the gym together.
I will go. I swear, I
Yeah.
will go with you guys. Just, I will go.
By the way, Yvonne's on her like a villain arc, and she's gonna get jacked
I
this
am.
summer.
Yeah.
But this is all talk so far because she hasn't been to the gym once with me. But we're hopeful for her. Hopefully she'll start coming out.
Don't worry, I'll make it. Like, gotta.
Got what? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Nothing. Is that? I mean.
But yeah, that's how it started. And then she actually DTR'd me. For people that don't know, DTR means define the relationship, not determine. Define the relationship. We were seeing each other here and there, like we were going on like very much like it was very obvious dates, right? And then she is not used to the whole like hookup culture, like, like just casual meetings and stuff. And so she straight up told me, she was like, hey, so I'm gonna do it. And I told her too, I've never been DTR'd before. And she goes, I'm gonna do it. She
gonna
looks at me and
ask
she
it.
goes, I'm gonna ask it. And I was like, please don't. I literally, the conversation was in the car and we were looking at each other. I was, please don't do it, please. And she was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then right after she goes, so what are we? What's going on? Like, is this a thing? Is this not a thing? Because I'm not gonna waste my time. I will leave. And I was like, oh God.
Hey, she knows her
Yeah, I knew
worth.
what I wanted.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
waste no time.
And then I was like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna do it. And so I asked her right there and then, and she was like, you're gonna ask me now? And I was like, I mean, yeah. You said not to
Boys
waste
are
time.
so dumb sometimes. They're so
I
dumb.
was like, are you serious?
And so I straight up asked her, I was like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
Did you say yes to me?
I was like, okay.
But
Well, it
yeah,
worked.
she roasted me right
in the
after that
car.
though. She was
Yeah.
like, I would think that you would plan something.
Yeah.
And I was like, are we getting married or something? No, then we're
Bruh,
fine. Like,
bruh,
what do you
side
want? What do
eye.
you want
Yeah.
from me?
Bombastic.
What do you
side
want
eye.
from me? Okay, like at the time, okay, that was the bare minimum, but I did so much more before that. So I feel like there's some credibility there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of cardio. Lots of walking.
Dude, my legs were jacked during that time.
Normally, I would say love isn't real, but that's just like, yeah, I guess love is real. It's just
Yeah.
not happening to
Would
the
you,
other
but the
of
real
us.
question is, would you still walk a mile and a half just
Now?
to see me for 5 minutes?
Hell no. Hell no. Listen, I bagged her, okay? I'm married. You have a ring on your finger. Like, I ain't walking a mile and a half.
Oh, she can take
Oh,
that right
hell
off.
no.
And
It's called Uber. Or maybe I'll scooter there, but I ain't nowhere in hell I'm
there are
walking.
scooters.
she can have a line of guys anytime, just like Kung Fu Tea. When someone goes up to her, is like, "Hey, you interested in any of us?"
Hey, so what do you have here?
Pick your suitor. No, but realistically still, like I'm just being
okay.
very real. Ain't
Oh,
no way
yeah.
I'm walking.
I don't think I could do that.
I'm sorry. Love may be real, but cardio.
Yeah. How long
Sorry.
did you guys date before you guys got married again?
It was 2.5 years,
Mm.
and then yeah, I knew that I wanted to marry her when we were at a Bonchon Chicken in Fairfax. In
A
Fairfax back
Bonchon
in-
chicken.
Bonchon Chicken back in Fairfax. She used to work at Bonchon Chicken.
She worked at Kung Fu Tea and Bonchon
So I
chicken.
had
Yeah.
so many jobs.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
probably like within those 2 years, I probably switched like 5 jobs, but
Oh
they
my
were all
God.
like restaurant, like serving.
Yeah,
Is there Bonchon here?
there is a Bonchon.
In
Bonchon,
LA?
California?
Bonchon Chicken, right?
Bonchon's a thing, right? Okay.
I know there's one
I
in
think-
NorCal.
I think there's one BBQ chicken. Here.
Oh, it's more BBQ
Yeah.
chicken. Well, she worked at a chicken place, right? And so it was on her off day, and we were eating there. It's gonna sound so corny, but I was eating, and then I looked up at her, and I saw how pretty she was, and like how beautiful she was, and I started crying.
I feel so single. It's crazy.
I don't even think we were like talking about anything.
And she got so worried, and she was like, "Are you okay?"
My greasy hands. I was like, are you okay?
She throws me a napkin, and the napkin has like Bonchon sauce all over the napkin. She was like, "Here, take it." And I was like, "What the hell am I supposed to do with it?" But I was just like so in love with her, right, at the time, and like in that moment. And I went home that day, and I sat my mom down, and I was like, "I'm gonna marry her. Like this
Wow.
is like she's the one for me." And she and I cried too when we got home, and that's when the planning started.
Did you talk to her about getting like what she thought about marriage and stuff before?
Yeah, so I obviously kind of poked at it here and there. Like I knew at the time she was still very young. I was still very young. And like
How old were we?
you were 21 and I was 24.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were both very, very young and very naive at the time as well. But in the moment, like it felt so right. Right. And yeah, so that's when the planning started. And a lot of people were involved. If you look on YouTube, Andy and Michelle Proposal, you can go watch. It's not on our main channel. It just was posted a long time ago. We
Yeah.
just
It's
posted
It's like
it
some
just
random channel.
Yeah,
I
it's a
remember you guys
random
showing me.
channel.
It's his channel.
It
It's
was-
just that like
It was for friends
know,
to
like,
watch.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it was just there. I didn't even think about it. I just posted it, and it's beautifully made. I personally think it's like really, really, really well made. But it just kind of brings it all full circle, and all the planning that went into it. Like I got in so much trouble. The place that I did the engagement, you're supposed to rent it, but I didn't know that. And it was at the time when there was doing like a winter festival. There were like fake snow coming out the ceiling, and it was like this big, massive like auditorium-ish
Yeah.
type of vibe. It was a Gaylord
it's
hotel.
like a hotel, and there's so much space that it's kind of like a mini city in the hotel. Like there's like mini
Yeah.
buildings and restaurants.
Yeah.
Did security come after you guys then, or like-
After everything was done and we were cleaning up and all the pictures and videos were done, the building manager came. He was like,
Oh.
"Hey, are you gonna pay for this?" And I was like, "Pay for what?" And they were like, "You have to rent this space, and you guys used it for like 40 minutes." And I was like, "No."
Like, oops.
Wait, you guys
I
say no to that?
really-
You just left?
And I was like, "I'm really sorry. We'll get out." And they're like, "Yeah, please get the hell out." And I was like,
We were already like,
I was like, I'm
bleeding.
sorry. And so
Yeah.
we quickly cleaned up and left.
Oops.
Yeah, so just moral of the story is just do it first and then ask for forgiveness
Exactly.
later.
Do it as
And you don't have
fast
to
as you
pay.
can. Do it as fast as you can. Do your research. I did all my
Exactly.
research. I lined it up with the Winter Festival and everything. Plead your ignorance. You know, like plead ignorance. Be like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, wow, you're supposed to pay. I had no idea. What are they gonna do? Make you pay? Maybe, but you know, we ran away.
It's not like they were like what, like cut you off in the middle of the proposal.
They could have.
Yeah.
To be honest, they could have.
But
I
then
feel
it
like they
looked
could have
so
walked
bad.
in.
No, I guess they totally could have, but I feel like if you had a human heart, you
Yeah.
would not do that. Like, let them do it first and then
Yeah.
be like, hey, out of here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was just perfect timing, in terms of when it happened. But yeah, that's our little story. Now we're what, 7 years in now.
7 years?
Yeah,
We've
7
been
years
six.
together in
Six.
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 You're not
Eight.
keeping
Six.
track.
Dang, you got it wrong.
Almost 7.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The eyes flick for approval.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be a
How-
long drive home.
How long ago did you guys start? Did you guys start doing TikTok after then?
We started doing TikTok when COVID happened.
Oh, it was during
Yeah.
COVID.
Was it 2019 or 2020? I think
It was
2020.
2019 late is when I started my own like little solo channel,
Yeah.
and then I was doing like the Korean stuff, and then 2020 is when we started our whole
Couples stuff.
couples thing.
So wait, you guys have been married for what, like 2 or 3 years, and you were just like, hey, let's do this TikTok for fun, or what?
At the time, we weren't married yet when we started.
Yeah,
Oh, you weren't.
yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't married yet, and then it was supposed to be for fun. Like I was doing like a Korean segment, like kind of like teaching Korean, but through a comedic way, and teaching. You know, what's the best way to learn a language? You learn the curse words, right?
Yeah.
To any language, and so I was teaching people like curse, very bad language in Korean, which is not brand safe. But at the time, I was like, yeah, screw it, it's fine. People love it, so I started doing that.
Yeah.
And then it was one video where I taught her how to say, "Oh, I'm a bitch." In Korean, but I told her, "Oh, it means you're very beautiful. Like I'm
Yeah.
very beautiful." And so that's how like, I taught her that. And then she was saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm very beautiful. I'm very beautiful in Korean," which actually meant like, "Oh, I'm such a bitch. I'm such a bitch." And then that video just flew.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the followers at the time, they were like, "Oh my gosh, like you're dynamic. Like your wife's very beautiful, or like your girlfriend's, or were we married at the time? Yeah, fiance's very beautiful. Like you should do more videos with her." And so I sat her down one day and I was like, "Hey, like you can definitely say no to this. But if you commit to it, like we're gonna commit to it, you know." And I think it could be something special. And I was like, "Do you want to do TikTok with me?" And
It's almost like asking like another proposal.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
no,
know, that,
because-
you know what's crazy? Him asked me, "Do you want to do TikTok with me?" was so serious. But when he asked me to be his girlfriend, he's just like, "Want to be my girlfriend?"
I was 3 years later. I had matured at the time. I was what, 21? Like what was I supposed to do? I learned from my mistakes, right?
Yes.
Like, you know, it's an upward trend.
TikToks with me?
Yeah, so I really did sit her down on the couch, looked at her straight in the eyes, and I was like, "So, are you gonna do TikTok with me?" And then she goes, "Yeah, okay."
Okay.
Yeah, the rest is history. I mean, I think from there we started doing more funny content that wasn't any Korean in there at all, and it just kind of took off.
TikTok was so different back then.
It was
Yeah.
it was so
How
Completely
was
different.
different?
I think
it was so easy.
back then, TikTok was more of like you could just post like spam stuff because it was just like for fun, do whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's
Yeah.
more like curated. Kind
Now
of like
it's
Instagram back then used to be more photos between friends, and now people are using it more business platformy, and like
Yeah.
it has to be like Instagram main worthy versus not like and then you need like an alt account or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of starting to feel like that too.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it was definitely more of a fun thing that we did a while ago. Obviously, now it's a business, and so we don't necessarily look at it. I mean, that's a lie. We do look at it as if it's a business now, in terms of how we show ourselves as well. Like obviously it like I would say, and this is for the viewers out there, I think like 10% is staged. 10 to 15.
10 to 15 is staged. That's
yeah,
actually
10 to
really
15 is
little.
staged.
That's not that
doesn't sound
much.
like a lot.
A lot of people think like, oh my gosh, you guys are so good at acting. It's not acting most of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, like the questions that she asks me are off the top of her head. My reactions are not pre-recorded or pre-thought of like, or else it wouldn't be genuine.
Yeah.
Most of the
Yeah.
time when we have to do 2-3 takes and it feels forced, we end up not doing the video.
Yeah.
Because at that time it's very disingenuous. Like it doesn't seem real.
So how does it set up then? Like, do you just think of a question and then you set up the camera and then you ask? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like that. So
I'll
it's
set up
actually-
the camera. Yeah, I'll literally just set it up and be like, babe, sit down. And they're like, what? And then I'll like already be recording and then
Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of times, like it's like questions I've already asked him before.
Yeah.
So it's, if anything, it's like funny because I'm asking again. So it's like, yeah, it's just,
And
I feel like it's,
And a lot of the stupid questions that I've asked are actual questions that I have for her, and she would get upset. And so those are the reasons why I ask them, is because they're stupid, because I actually have thought about these thoughts and have asked. And a lot of guys wonder the same thing. And that's why the videos do so well. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought that, I was thinking and wondering the same thing, and vice versa.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I could vouch for that. You
Yeah.
ask the same questions. Like I've heard like stupid questions that you also ask in the videos.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we aim
So
for.
that's how you know it's authentic.
Yeah.
Were you guys always like aligned on like the content? Did you ever where you're like, I have a different idea for the like the direction of this channel or this like account?
I think we were just the best at comedy, right? Like a lot of times, a couple videos weren't always comedic. They wanted to be this like romantic, like wholesome stuff. And I was like, that's not me. Like I'm not like
You're not romantic and
no, I mean, I think I have my
more of a
moments.
dumbass. Fight on camera.
I think
He's
I have my
toxic.
moments, but in the pure heart of who I am a dumbass, right? Like I love being goofy. Like I love laughing. Like I love like joking with you and having fun and laughing until I feel like my lungs are gonna fall out of my mouth. Like that's my type of life that I like to live with you. And if I have to fake this romantic, like, oh my gosh, that was so sweet, babe. Like that, it's not me. It's not me. I'm gonna watch it and be like, oh, what is this? Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like an intimate thing. Like if I want to be that way, then I can do that, but I'm not gonna record it. And that's my personal preference, right? There are a lot of creators that do a lot of wholesome content that I very much respect, and that's their niche, and I'm hands off about that. But that's just not for us.
Yeah.
And so, has it always aligned? I think that it's always aligned. Like it's
I
always
mean,
been.
I see your romance or like whatever romantic gestures through other ways that aren't on TikTok, but it seems more natural or real, I guess. Like when you guys post stories of you guys just going on lunch dates or dinner dates, you don't need to show that off on TikTok, but you
Right.
guys just, you just have like a nice date and I
Yeah.
see it on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the romance is still there. It's just not like your
Publicized.
channel is definitely not like I brought home for my flowers for my girlfriend and this is
Oh,
how she
God.
reacted. But it's like kind of like I brought a giant ass like baseball bat and so she reacted type of thing versus flowers, which I actually love. So
Oh man.
know.
Yeah, it's really troll. It's really troll. Like she loves the fact that we do videos like that because
Yeah.
that gives her the green light to buy stupid stuff from Amazon.
It sounds fun as
Like the other
Shit.
time, like this video we removed this video, but she bought a gigantic toothbrush the size of her
I
hand.
saw that.
Literally this big.
And she
I
took
was
it,
like,
and I walked into the bathroom, and she was brushing her teeth, like up to here. So there's toothpaste all over her mouth, and she's just brushing away with this gigantic toothbrush. And I'm like, where did you buy that, and how much was that? And she goes, don't worry about it.
I was like, don't worry about it. I got you one too.
No, I saw that. Why did you guys have to take it down?
Maybe we'll repost it. Maybe we'll
Okay.
repost it. But it's silly stuff like that. Like I'd rather do stuff like that and have fun
Yeah.
than do, I'm gonna say it like cringy couple TikToks. I'm sorry. I mean, we're cringe too. You got to embrace the cringe to be successful on this platform. And I'd rather just be comedic in the way that we do it. So
Yeah. I mean, I like the way you guys do it. I watch all the videos and stuff. So
yeah, Yvonne's one of our number one supporters, and we freaking love her for that. Like she
Comments on our stuff.
no, and then we talk
You
about
comment on mine too. For what? Sometimes it's like random shit. It's like League of Legends or something, and then I see a comment from you guys on it. I'm like, why?
listen, friends support friends even in dumb posts, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Even in dumb posts.
We shit post in each other's comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, everyone, I mean, going back to the whole like worlds colliding thing, everyone always talks about like whenever we meet fans at the club or we're at, 88, they're like, how do you guys know each other? Like, how did that even happen? I was like, oh, you have no idea. Like, it is a wild, wild ride of a story. But it's just funny how we ended up connecting. But, I'm very thankful. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we end up going on degenerate nights and trips and stuff.
You guys, not.
I mean, you're there sometimes.
Yeah, you're there
I would
You
sometimes.
want to shake
Probably
ass
there,
sometimes,
like,
so you're
I
there.
would
50%
probably
of the
go,
time.
like-
It's like every
Yeah,
other.
okay, yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
every
you're
other.
right. You're right.
Yeah, you
I
just can't
apologize.
keep up. That's fine. Get better, bro. The heck?
My nickname for Yvonne is the Stallion because she's just wild every night out.
On the Stallion.
Cannot be tamed.
It's true though.
Yeah.
It is.
It's true though.
That.
Like I can't. I have a hard time keeping up, and I think I'm the most extroverted
You do
person on
not
the
have a
planet.
hard time keeping up. You stay out till like 7 or 8 in the morning sometimes. I don't want to hear it. It ain't me. I'm going home at like
She has no proof of
5
this.
the latest. There is. You guys posted
I
pictures.
think
of,
you
like,
go
the beach.
harder though.
I go harder?
Yes.
You think so?
I
He
pace
doesn't-
myself.
He doesn't like
No,
go that hard.
Okay, that was once, by the way. And just so you know, yeah, we were both fucked up that night.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, she was slumped. She was slumped. She don't remember jack shit from that night.
No, that it was so not worth it. But basically, one time, me, Andy, and Michelle joined us after. But we went out, and there's probably just like one other person there. There's like 3 people going
Yeah.
to the club. And then for some reason, I think it's tequila. I think tequila just fucks me up. But we took like 2 or 3 shots
We
of
mixed
tequila,
that
maybe.
night. We
Was-
mixed that
did
night.
you? We
too.
did?
Yeah, we mixed that
Did
night.
you even drink like a lot?
Oh
or
no,
was
she
it
drank
just,
a
like,
lot.
one of
She
those
kept up with
days?
me the entire night.
I
We didn't
did?
pace.
Oh,
We didn't pace
really?
at all.
Wait,
That's
I
why
thought
I
we just
questioned her. I was like,
Degenerates.
I questioned her. I was like, "Are you sure?"
Wait, I thought I only took 4 max.
No, it was not just 3. It was not 3 or 4. It was like 3 plus 2 mixed drinks plus like a shot of JMO.
You guys also went to a concert before you guys went.
Oh, but we
Cut to
didn't. We didn't.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't.
didn't
We
drink.
didn't.
We didn't
We didn't drink there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for all the listeners, Yvonne is a tank.
No, I'm not.
For real.
Yeah.
My
Nostalgia.
Go shot for shot with anyone.
tolerance fluctuates a lot. I think
Yeah.
maybe it depends on how much I ate that day. Maybe
carbs.
depends on the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I
a
can
thing.
take 1 or 2 shots and I'll be like good.
Oh
and
no,
then
she was on
sometimes
demon
maybe-
time that night.
I think tequila actually makes me drunk, more drunk in general. But that night, I was holding the car door. I just remember throwing up, and the car door was open. And I was on the side
time
of
I
the road.
just see her, she
My head is in my arm, like just kind of resting on it, and I'm throwing up. And then I see the next day on the car, there's like puke on the side of the door that I have to wipe off. But then the funny thing is, like, basically we're gonna go to another spot after the club, and I couldn't make it in. I was like, I can't. I have to go home. And then I learned later, like, that Andy also ended up being super
On the way
fucked
home.
up. And Michelle sent a photo of like him sleeping in the bathroom with like a blanket. Like he was actually sleeping on the bathroom floor.
Yeah, she tucked me next to the toilet because
Yeah.
apparently I was hugging the toilet because it felt nice.
You would
And
not
I was
leave
just like
the
my
toilet.
safe space, and she tried to pull me away to the bed. And I was like, no, I must stay here. And so she tucked me in with a pillow and a blanket, and she took a picture and sent it to Yvonne. And then Yvonne sent a picture of her that she was slumped next to like the front door with the shoes. She
I
was just
felt
slumped over.
Where all the shoes were.
Yeah, it was a good night. It
Yeah.
was a good night.
There is nothing that called for it. That was the most drunk I've ever been in a really long time. And there was no birthday. It wasn't like an event. It was some
was just a
random
random night.
night.
It was a random night.
And that's why you're the Stallion. Any night.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, moments like that.
Good
though.
times.
Good times.
times.
More at Coachella, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
down.
Mark Coachella,
Coachella.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys
I'm
will
down.
actually be going this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, our
Like
first
not
time.
just the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be our first time at Coachella.
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
be so
I don't know what to
tired.
expect at all. It's gonna be our first time, but we're gonna be relying on Yvonne for our moral support. We're gonna be like, what do we do now? Where do we go
yeah,
now?
Yvonne will IGL.
No, I actually did not like Coachella that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked EDC just in comparison way more. Coachella is nice because the first, I would say the afternoon, it's really hot and the sun is where all the Instagram pictures are being taken. It's kind of like golden hour and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like the best time to take pictures and whatever. But it's really hot until the sun sets, and then the sun sets, and then it's freaking cold.
I
Oh,
heard
really?
that.
Yeah. And it's dusty. My shoes were white. They were completely white. They were brand new. And the next day they were black. Like they were like dark gray.
Oh, wow.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I heard that's a thing because like at night, that's when people would like buy hoodies because it's so cold. But the
Oh,
hoodies
really?
are like so expensive.
yeah. Like last year, Peter was a Giga Chad and bought us blankets and stuff when the girls were all freezing. Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
We got to bring those emergency blankets. I heard those are clutch, like
The
the
aluminum
aluminum looking
Mm-hmm.
ones. Apparently, those keep the heat in.
Yeah.
I've always wanted
but
one of those.
We'll plan for those. Yeah.
Templov is going to be at Coachella this year.
Woo!
Not
We love that.
performing.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Not just the normal half of Templov, but both.
Let's
The full
go.
party.
We're not performing though. You're spreading this information.
Mini hidden secret set somewhere. You just gotta find it.
we can hope, we can wish for that.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Coachella, you're missing out.
It's funny.
I feel like I'm gonna be really tired with Coachella.
Yeah.
I feel like you're gonna be tired of E EDC.
More EDC.
EDC is way more tiring because Coachella is more chill. You can sit more.
Yeah.
There's like a lot more things. You don't really want to sit as much as at
Right.
EDC.
Yeah.
It's kind of more like ragey.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Are
Lots of Red Bull.
Are you guys gonna be making content there, or is it pure for fun?
No.
No, we're
I
making
think-
content at Coachella though.
I think we're making content for other people. It's not for our like actual channel. Like I think her and I are really strict on like when it's time to play, we're playing. You know, like we
Yeah.
don't because we get so stressed out, especially with brand videos and stuff. Like it's a lot of work, and it's not something that we necessarily like because we don't have like full control over everything. Like it's hard to do sometimes, and so when we play, we like just relax and we don't have to worry about content or anything. So we have like an on and off switch, let's say. Yeah.
There's a line.
Actually,
As there should.
on kind of the topic of TikTok, like how do you guys have any opinions on it potentially being banned?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Everyone is simping over the CEO of TikTok.
Yeah.
Simping
He's
over him?
Yeah.
hey, he's hot, man.
He's
You
really
hear me?
well-spoken.
You're hot. I forgot what his
What was
name
his
was.
name? Cho? CEO Cho?
Yeah, CEO. Yeah, Mr. CEO, if you're listening, you're very attractive. I think the way that he was
Carried
so
himself.
respectful. Like he was
Yeah.
just so like in the midst of all this like the battering that he took
Yeah.
or that they were trying to like give to him, he was so composed and so organized and so like
They seem so
stoic.
mean.
Yeah, and
They were- it was
they had
literally- they
no
were just-
idea what the fuck they were talking about
Yeah.
too, and I was
Like,
so upset.
They
hearing
called it
all
a
that.
hearing, but they did not do any listening.
not,
At all. They did most of
yeah.
the talking. If
They cut him off every 2 seconds. Like they were asking questions, and when he would actually answer the question, they're like, "You're not answering the question." I was like, "Yes, he is." If you gave him
Yeah.
like 10 seconds to talk,
Or they'd be like, you know, you have to tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, he is though.
and how they were like, "Oh, like does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?" And I'm like, "Yes." Does your phone is your phone not connected to the internet? Like, how do you? What do you mean? Like these questions were like ridiculous.
Someone else also said Tic Tac instead of TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, these are boomers, by the way, asking these questions, and they're like, "Well, I'm more." They were. It sounded like they were asking about like how to parent their own children more than they were concerned about the actual app itself. They were like, "Oh, my child is on TikTok or whatever," and I was like, "Okay, then take it away from them. Like, why are you trying to?" You know what I mean? Like a lot of the concerns that they were bringing up were unreasonable and did not make sense a lot of the times. And my stance is, even if it does get banned, like, and it's scary because I feel like it might get banned. It's
think
called
it might.
VPN. And guess what? Out of 150 million people that use the app, you think people don't know how to use VPN. People use VPN and they'll make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, technically, there's still also Instagram. Could just like
Meta is an issue on its own though. So I feel like everyone's gonna either move to YouTube or I mean,
Shorts. And
I
stuff.
think Twitch and YouTube are gonna get flooded after. I think Facebook and Instagram not so much, just because Instagram's not what it used to be. It's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
like you touched on it earlier. Like I used to love Instagram when it
Same.
used to be just my friends and like, oh my gosh, you went to that park today, because no one cared about it looking perfect, right? It was all about like, oh, I did this today. I got this coffee today. I did, you know, I saw this person and hung out with them today, and used like the really ugly filters that we used to use a long time ago, like the super overexposed filters that we used to
super
listen to.
filters.
Yeah, like, you know, like that's what we used to do. And now it's all about looking perfect and getting the perfect story or getting the
Yeah.
perfect like post. And then how many likes are you getting on those posts, you know?
I'm sad because I don't even see things of my friends. I
Yeah.
get more suggested posts and ads, or like they try to push reels on, but I actually want to see photos or things that the people I follow post or whatever it is. And I feel like I always have to go to, there's a tab that you can go to that says following so that you only see the things that you follow. But I want that to be the default, not that I have to always click something every time.
For sure.
And yeah, it's just, I don't know. Why am I getting suggested posts of all these people that just,
Yeah,
I
like
don't
that's
know.
the whole point in going to the explore page.
Yeah,
if you wanted to
exactly.
look at that stuff. But if it's on like your feed, then it's like you want to see who you're following.
I feel like everything's pay to win now.
Dude,
Yeah.
literally Instagram, I'm not even on it for like probably like other than to look at my friends' stories. I don't even like scroll anymore because it's like every 2 posts there's another ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter's
It's like
the same way,
ad
too.
or their reels, and then they kind of start getting into only reels, but you're like, I don't want to see
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they set up Instagram is just like you get like pushed off by what they're showing you.
Yeah.
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 I'm just like, what? And then I'm switch to TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Meta, can you hear us?
Meta.
Yeah, Meta.
Everyone can hear us through our phones, apparently. Hey,
Hey.
Do better.
hey, government can no. Oh, I'm scared. They might come after me. Did you guys ever feel like you guys had conflict with content ever, or like that's
It's definitely not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You know, we've I don't think we've necessarily like argued about content, but we've had disagreements here and there, and stuff that we wanted to post that, you know, not necessarily the other person wanted to post. And I don't think it's ever been to the point where like we're like fighting about it, but we've definitely had discussions heated
Yeah.
at times about, you know, this is what I want to do, this is what we don't.
I asked because like I watched there's like this YouTube channel that was called Boyfriend vs Girlfriend like a long time ago.
Oh my god, the prank one?
Yeah, the prank one. And then I just remember them trying to do a lot of content together, and they started daily vlogging, which is I could only imagine how killer that was. But I
Yeah.
remember when they had like a breakup video, and they were talking about how that basically killed their relationship. When
Yeah.
you're not sure if you're doing things for each other for the relationship, or if it's because if it's for the viewers, which is actually good that you don't like try to do the whole romantic stuff, because that would definitely ruin it. That plays into it.
Yeah.
Like, are you buying flowers for me
For
because
sure.
like you actually want to, or because you want to vlog it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like no one wants to like receive those things and have a camera in their face.
Yeah.
Because then you feel like you need to like, oh my
React.
god. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's exactly the reason why we don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why if we have kids, I don't want our kids on camera. I don't want them growing up with me recording every time they do something like entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
Until they're old enough.
If they're old enough.
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
And then you're like,
sorta
your
kidding.
college is gonna play itself.
Not when they're like 5 and younger, definitely not.
Yeah.
For me at least.
For sure.
I mean, then they can choose if they want to do content or not,
Yeah.
or be on camera or not. I know a lot of celebrities, they don't want their kids because they're like, we chose this life for ourselves, but our
For sure.
kids didn't
Makes
choose
sense.
it. Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. I'll secretly record them.
We have
kidding.
to pay for their college. But yeah, I know because my mom always says like, in terms of business, she always says, don't do business with friends. Don't do business or usually family is more okay, because she says like family, no matter what, typically is like,
Is,
But I
is
don't
family
know.
more okay? I think it's the flip.
Then with friends.
Yeah, I'd rather do a business with friends than with family. Families break apart after doing business together.
I think they all do. I don't think there's like one that maybe is better than the other. I feel like doing sometimes if you want to maintain relationships with people, you actually don't do business.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is odd to say because it's like we're technically all friends with each other doing
Yeah.
business with each other. But I
Yeah.
guess like maybe the setting is different.
Yes.
It's not like you're investing your own money into like a business.
Yeah.
to do
Right,
things.
right.
That's why I feel like for us, because like we have a brand that's like literally our names in it, we have to like really, and that's just for anybody that's like in a relationship doing business with your partner or like your family, friends, whoever it may be. You have to really learn when to like set the line between this is work stuff and this is our relationship stuff. That's why for TikTok and like content and stuff, we never like fight, or like let's say we do disagree. It's not like, oh, I disagree because I just don't like your idea and I think your idea is stupid and taking it personally. But it's just like for the sake of like algorithm or like statistics, like literally work-based reasons, maybe we shouldn't do this. But then like for some people, if they don't draw that line, they could easily be like, they would take it personally and get offended because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I just think the people that would get offended is kind of like not the ones you could really do business or doing that type of stuff with. Like people have to be understanding or know where the boundary is.
It's definitely not made for everybody, for sure. Yeah.
I fucking love Starbucks.
Me too. And this is why we're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Before we
Business.
like broke over.
I think if my future SO does not like Taylor Swift or Starbucks, I couldn't date them.
You know what? That's valid.
That's valid.
That's
right?
valid.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like the whole Taylor Swift, like,
Hey,
Like-
be careful what you're about to say.
Yeah, there's crazies.
Or me.
the okay, I enjoyed the Taylor Swift rave. Okay,
We were there for like 15 minutes.
I can't believe we went to a Taylor Swift rave.
Okay, I was going into it really thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be a concert. And I was like about to get like really excited. Like, you know, I'm not a Swiftie necessarily. Is that what you guys call yourself?
Yeah, Swifty.
Like I'm a T Swift fan, but I'm like a Swiftie, right? Just like how like I would like to say I'm ARMY, right? For BTS, I love BTS, but but I love BTS, right? Like I can't say like I love Taylor Swift. Like I like Taylor Swift. I like her music, but I'm not like a Swiftie. I would
Yeah.
think I would insult you if I called myself a Swiftie. So, but it was fun.
I mean, we don't
Was it?
gatekeep Swifties out here, but you know.
I
I feel like
for
she would
ARMY
gatekeep me. She'd be like, you're not allowed to
I
join.
feel like if Andy were to be like, yeah, I'm a Swiftie, Yvonne was sure to be like, you're a liar.
She would get so mad.
Songs do you know?
Name some songs right now. I'd be like,
10 Taylor Swift songs.
I'd be like,
Name 15.
Bad Blood and, you know,
Doesn't even know.
You
Love
said
Story.
you know Anti-Hero.
Love. Oh yeah, Antihero.
Antihero.
Yeah.
Antihero. That song, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
I
like,
know.
the troll part was when you said that, you were like, that's the one on TikTok.
Yeah.
It is the one on TikTok.
I mean, you're talking about TikToker. Of course, I'm gonna say that. You know?
Dude, that's how like Doja is like so
Oh,
popular.
yeah, that's right.
Literally
She
all
has
their songs
so
is
many
TikTok.
trending
Huge.
songs.
Like look at
Me more.
look at oh my god. What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, New Jeans. Love New Jeans, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peter, for introducing me to New Jeans. But those guys have become worldwide superstars, not because their music is not as like their music is phenomenal, right? However, TikTok quadrupled their popularity because of the virality of their music.
Yep.
TikTok in itself is literally marketing.
Yeah, Doja
Same with
Cat.
Cupid.
I feel like Doja Cat
Yeah,
made it
Cupid
because of
too.
that.
Also, Pink Pantheress. She probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for TikTok.
Pink Panther.
Yeah, Ice Spice too.
They have a lot of, like, there's a lot of artists that just put out their music and just, it sometimes just catches on. as a
Jack
trend.
Harlow, because of TikTok, blew up. Ice
Wasn't
Spice.
Golden Hour also.
Golden Hour.
What's his name?
J.
Oh, JVK.
JVK,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great song, by the way.
Also, Lil Nas X, right?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Old
Yeah.
Town Road. Yeah.
Nas
Oh.
X, really?
yeah.
That was from TikTok?
He was the famous one because he made the story was he made that song and then made a bunch of TikTok accounts and would post it on those random accounts, and then he would take his other accounts and be like, "Yo, what song is this?"
Yeah, and he would duet it. He would duet it, and it would be like, bro, this guy's marketing mentality
That's
is
what you call the
and then
amazing.
he would go on Reddit and be like, "Hey, what's that Horses song?"
Yeah.
And then other people would be like, "Oh, I heard that
Horses
song.
in
It's
the-
this guy."
That song. And then people would be like, oh my
that
gosh, I heard it from
one.
TikTok. And then they would go look it up, and then it would stream and stream and
That
stream.
is true.
know?
Genius.
It's just there. He's built diff.
It's literally mind.
We can't do the same thing technically with our TikTok, right? We can't go on and be like, whoa, who are these cool people? Or what's his content group? It doesn't work
Yeah,
like
what's
that.
that blonde girl that tries
Yeah.
to do the
Hey,
the
Yeah, I guess it's not the same.
Yeah.
Did you guys use any TikTok tricks and stuff?
Tricks.
before?
Those are
Oh,
that's a secret.
industry secret.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
those
off
tricks.
camera.
Yeah.
Those tricks.
I thought you were talking about like, you know how like there's some videos that's like tips how to do this. And
Yeah,
it's, like,
they're
TikTok
like,
hacks and stuff. I thought you were talking
How
about
to grow, like use trending songs and like all this kind of stuff.
Okay, the one thing I will say though, while we're on the tips and tricks, whatever like section,
hacks.
don't listen to these people. Oh my gosh, I'm so heated when I come up on this. Yvonne knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I go off when I see these videos of these creators claiming to know the algorithm of TikTok, and they say, "Oh, post this much and don't do this and do that," and they're like, "I raised this account from 0 to like 50K followers. Like, listen to me and my advice." And I'm like, don't listen to any of these people. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know jack shit about the algorithm. The algorithm's constantly changing, and it's because it's called an algorithm, right? Like, it's always changing. It's never the same. You have to play with it
Yeah.
a lot, right? Like, even for us, I can't sit here and say, oh, like, we know the algorithm, we know how it works, we know how to make viral videos. We don't. It's kind of honestly, you make great content, and if it's kind of just by chance if it picks up or not. And there are just so many accounts that like pay me and I'll tell you the secrets to TikTok, or pay me and I'll
And
you know it's like there's this like paywall on the like, when you pay me I'll boost your account or something, and it has nothing to do with that.
And it would
No.
be like, it's not even like they would ask for like $2,000 a month. Pay me and I'll boost you.
Coaching.
Yeah, like
They're like,
coaching.
oh, I'll
It's like
coach you.
Thousands.
I'll coach you, and you can post about stuff that you don't even really like, but it'll get you likes and it'll get you views and you'll become famous as long as you pay me $2,000 a month. And I'm like, please
like a lot.
don't pay this person, right? Like, don't. Like, it just doesn't work that way, right?
That's
They're paying
kind
for the
of
numbers.
It reminds me of Twitch when people either try to make programs or be like, I can teach you how to be a great Twitch streamer and stuff.
They did that before?
Yeah, there has been people who try to sell lessons, or people who
It just doesn't make any sense.
there's no real like, you do all these steps, you can be
Yeah.
like
Like it's
successful.
black and white like that.
It does not
Yeah.
work that way.
Or the best are like the YouTube videos. It's like, do you want to blow up on YouTube? And it's got like 200 views.
That's actually
That's
very
exactly what I'm talking about,
true.
though, you know?
Yeah.
But they're preying on people that are very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the people that really want that. And of course, everyone wants that,
kids.
right? Like, they want to be known and they want to have their name out there. And like, that's the appeal that they're promising in exchange for cash. And it's just, some people fall into that, and you just don't get it until you get screwed over by people like that. But I'm telling you right now, just don't get caught up in that, because it's all BS.
I'm sure some people are probably thinking like, I don't got $2,000 to give anyway for
Hey,
that.
to be fair, yeah, of course, it's very, very expensive. But
It's
even if you do have the cash
ridiculous.
for that, it's just not worth your while. Go buy something cool.
You can just do free research by looking at what other people are
Yeah,
doing on
Thank you.
TikTok.
That's what I
for free.
mean. Like,
everything is
do that.
online.
Yeah.
Everything is available and everything is free, right? Like, you should never have to pay for free information. Like,
Yeah.
everything's out there, and I'm constantly telling people how I do things on my personal Instagram and our Instagram, or not on the professional Instagram, but on my personal Instagram. I'm always like, do this and do that. Like, it'll help, right? Like, especially when I vent about these creators, like, I always stitch that. I'm like, oh, like, just post whatever you're passionate about, and someday it'll catch. Like, it's just how it works, for
Yeah,
any
you
type of
don't-
social media. I feel like if you're consistent enough and you're posting enough, then people will look at it.
Yeah.
If you know what you're talking about, So, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I feel like I see a difference of people who are really passionate about what they like and do versus the people who post videos trying to just be famous or
Yeah.
grow. It's almost like you could almost always tell actually it's pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing social media or doing content to be famous, you'll never make it. And that's a promise. I think 1%. The very minuscule amount of people that are probably very wealthy and then they can buy luxurious things and have very flashy videos. If they want to be famous, I feel like that's the like super small percent that could possibly do it because they have the resources to.
Right.
However, if you're just like us, like when we were first starting, if I had gone into it going, yeah, I'm trying to be famous and I want to be a TikToker and do that for the rest of my life, right? There's no way we could have done that.
Yeah.
We
that's
did
not
it for fun because we liked making people laugh.
Yeah.
We liked, spreading positivity through making people laugh, and that's what's so rewarding for us. It's not about any of the brands that we work with ever. It's not about any of that. When followers come up to us and like 80% of the followers, like the actual fans that know our content, that come up to us and tell us, hey, like your videos brighten my day. Your videos make me laugh and make my terrible day into a little like better of a day. Or like you guys, we look forward to watching your videos together if they're in a relationship. Like that's what we do it for. Like that's so much rewarding for me than anything else that we've ever gotten or received. Is just words of affirmation saying like, oh, your videos help me through my day. Your videos inspire me and my girlfriend to strive for more and have a friend, like a friendly type of relationship and a goofy comedic relationship. Like that's what we strive for. And that's means the world to us, like we love hearing that. And that is why we started this. Is like, it's not to become famous. It's not to, be a name. It's to do what we love to do and have fun. That's
Preach. He cooking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say like what I like doing or what we like doing probably indirectly just became that without knowing. Like in the beginning, it's like, oh, I just like playing games. And I would just, that's like the passion, right?
Yeah.
And then without like naturally through playing games and streaming and making content around it, you help other people or like they just, it's like entertainment for them or whatever it is. And you, for me at least, I didn't realize that would be like the way to do it. Because I grew up, I was like, my parents asked me what I wanted to do. And back then the profession seemed very strict. It's like lawyer, doctor, accountant, whatever. And I remember like trying to brainstorm occupations with my dad and just thinking like, I don't know what I'd do, but I like talking to people and I like helping people. And then he was like, what about being like a therapist or something like that?
Yeah.
And so I think whatever I would have ended up doing, I would have wanted to be like a therapist, a counselor, or when I did my office job, I was in HR, which is like also involving people. But I guess this is ultimately actually what I wanted to do too.
Yeah.
Like even I get to play games and I get to like have some sort of effect or whatever on people is like the best part about it. And people who like come up to you and like obviously like say really nice and like sweet things. But yeah. I'd say it's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. It's about, I think, what your real purpose of doing it is. Like if the underlying reason, like I said, is for fame, it just doesn't work that way. So, yeah.
Clout do be crazy.
I didn't say anything. She's looking at me.
Do you guys feel like you guys would want to live with other people ever, or would it always be you guys living together?
Well, like a content house?
Either a content house or
roommates?
like roommates. Yeah.
I really want roommates.
Oh, you really want?
I'd be really open to having roommates, but I'm very specific on the type of roommates that I would want.
Yeah.
Okay, what do they have to do or be like?
I feel like you're very anal when it comes to the kitchen.
I hate when people take my shit.
Yeah.
Like, and here's the thing, right? Like, I don't mind people taking it if they're gonna know that I'm gonna take their shit. But
Yeah, they
we've
shouldn't be
had
taking your stuff anyways.
we've had people where they've taken our shit, and our stuff gets like I end up taking a little bit of their stuff, and they're like, "Where's our stuff?" And I'm like, I thought there was just kind of like a
shared
everyone
fridge.
shares everyone's stuff, you know. But if we're gonna section everything off, then don't touch my shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, the kitchen's a little bit touchy just because I'm very specific on what I like to eat.
I feel like because for you don't like it when like somebody uses a stove and they leave like the grease on the stovetop and stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that. I'm very clean when it's just the kitchen area.
Yeah.
Like if the kitchen's dirty, I have a real big problem with that.
So no grease on stove.
Yeah, and like flies. Like if there are flies in the kitchen,
Yeah.
or like you
Or
know
like they leave-
gnats, or
If they leave
stuff.
dishes in the sink, how long until they have to wash it?
As long as it's underwater and you do your own dishes in a timely manner, I don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
But
Oh, really?
people stack it
I'm not.
and they expect everyone else to do it, and it becomes this high. And then
Yeah.
at that point, I get sick and tired of it,
Yeah.
and I'll do it. That's a problem.
I don't like it when like I think it's fine if you don't necessarily like wash it right after you ate it, but just don't leave it overnight.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you're kind of like day of, like would like them
Yeah.
to take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, roommates will be cool.
Yeah, just the aspect of like having roommates and like having friends to just chill with all the time is like cool. But in terms of like cleanliness or like, I guess like space, it can be tricky. You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
That's
selective.
usually the part that people
Yeah.
usually have the most conflict with. Like every house that I've been in is mostly like, oh, how do we keep it more clean? Or, well, usually the best part is hanging out with people like in the living room
That's
or
dope.
something. Yeah, that's
I feel like
Yeah.
that's dope. It's like a sleepover forever.
Yeah.
yeah, forever.
Yeah.
And then when you're kind of tired, you can like, okay, you can retreat back to your own
Exactly.
space.
Yeah, hide in your room.
You're like socializing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I would definitely do it. I'd be open to it now.
would you want content house or would you want regular, like just roommates?
I think I would want it to be roommates,
Mm-hmm.
but if we wanted to do content, we could. Like I wouldn't mind it with other creators,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily for the sake of like, oh, we're living together so that we're close enough to make content whenever we can.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like we just want to, and then if they want to be in it, they can be in it.
I don't know about like a TikTok content house though. Like,
No,
'cause,
yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's since we're starting IRL soon, I feel like if we do that with like friends, that'd be freaking awesome. You know, like it's like not necessarily using them for content, but the fact that like they're all available to join in if they want to, and having that option, I feel like would be dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, have to be very specific people. Like we'd have to really get along with people to make
That's
a
usually
house like
the
that.
tricky part. I think
Yeah.
there's been so many quote unquote like content houses or whatever it is, and a lot of them implode or they don't ever last.
Yeah,
It's tricky.
that's what's hard.
So,
We've heard those things before.
well, I guess it's time to wrap it up. I know all conversations have to come to an end. So this is it. This is the doomed end
Okay,
of
bye.
this podcast. But, you know, we do have an extra segment that will be on the Patreon for like a little bit longer. So if you guys want to check that out, or if you guys are already subscribed to our Patreon, then thank you so much. But we're going to head off there. And thank you to Tokyo Treats and Sakura Cove for sponsoring this podcast. And Oh, okay. Yeah. So I guess that's a good wrap. So thanks for hanging out with us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be
Yvonne?
moving on yonder. Oh wait, I said no conversations end, and then there's more. Well, I guess there's more. It's not the doomed end.
We're ending this one.
After this, okay, you know, it's
Okay,
fine.
yeah.
Just cut it.
That's a wrap.
All right.
That was almost like a perfect outro, and then you kind of like